Hey, is that folk music that you play there? What is that? How do you call that folk music?
I think it was Studs Terkel who asked Big Bill Brunzi, did he consider his blues music to be folk music? And
bang! Hot dog!
Don't hesitate. It could be your ticket to a new tomorrow.
Howdy folks, and welcome to another episode of Horses Sing None of It. My name is Ralph Litwin, and we got a guest in the studio today, folks, and he did not want me to introduce him as a really fine finger-picking guitarist. He did not want me to introduce him as an incredible vocalist or an incredible folklorist in the history of blues and ragtime. He just wanted me to say, this is Andy Cohen from Kent, Ohio.
Chicken, thought it was a duck, put it on the table with a leg stuck up. Hey there, honey, where did you learn to cook? Along comes this spoon in a glass, not the dish and not the gravy from the gas. Honey, where'd you learn to cook? Surely it must not have been out of your mama's cookbook, now watch out. The preacher came over and gave him chicken stew. The preacher couldn't preach for a week or two. Honey, where'd you learn to cook? Deacon came over and gave him some too, and the deacon couldn't deek for a week or two. Hey there, honey, where did you learn to cook? Surely it must not have been out of your mama's cookbook. I'm gonna leave here and run and don't need no help. Stay around here, I'm gonna ruin my health. Honey, where'd you learn to cook? Surely it must not have been out of your mama's cookbook, now watch out. Got a boil over. Got notes spilling out all over the place like elbow macaroni. There goes one now. Anyway, to learn to cook.
All right. Oh!
How do you do?
Hot. Welcome to the show, Andy.
Nice to be here, Ralph.
All right. That's some hot picking, man.
Oh, I don't know. I got like 20, 30 guys back home can outpick me 3-1.
Where's that song come from?
Actually, a friend of mine named Larry Johnson put that together.
No kidding.
And I do have his permission to do it. And if he doesn't think so, he can call me up and ask me for the royalties. So
that'll show him for disappearing.
That'll show him for disappearing. Yeah, see, that's why I did it. I want him to think I owe him some money. That way I can find him again. It's been a long time, Larry.
All right. That's a great song. Sounds like it's really from old time days, doesn't it?
Well, Larry kind of is from old time days. He's on the breaking edge of that cultural iceberg after World War II. He's one of the younger of the bluesmen. He's, I think he must be about 55 now or so. And he was a student of Reverend Gary Davis's and hung out with a lot of the New York guys, people like Pat Conti and Bob Guida and the Otis brothers, those guys.
Yeah, I know Pat.
Those crazy radical 78ists.
Major Conti and the
Major
Canebrake
Conti and the Canebrake
Rattlers.
Rattlers, yes. He's about to issue his, under the name of the Secret Museum of Mankind, he's about to issue a very large number of 78s. that he's collected over the years. And I'm actually waiting with bated breath for that one, because he's got real good taste in music.
He's got a great collection, yeah.
He's got a great collection, yeah.
Well, enough about Major Conte. Tell us about you.
Well,
What got you interested?
Big Bill Brunzi.
No kidding.
Him.
Our idol.
My idol. Your idol.
Yes.
The man who could, they called him Big Bill because he was big. Stephen Grossman just released those videotapes, Country Blues Legends Volume 1. And I didn't even know he was on. I just put it in the tape machine. And when it came to Big Bill, I just about broke down and cried, because I'd heard him a lot, but I'd never seen him. And he looks just like he sounds. It's just amazing. I wish I could play like that. I started out trying to play like that, and ended up learning how to play sort of like the guy that can paint the Mona Lisa and then turn around and paint the Degas and then turn around and paint a Rubens, one of those things by the yard. And there's almost kind of no me in there. But I'll tell you what, I'll play you one of mine. How's that?
Great.
This is a ridiculous instrumental. See, I just got my master's degree. I'm only 48. I just got my master's degree in anthropology from Kent State University, and I took the finally prepared manuscript over to Dr. Meindl. He's their department chair, and he signed it in black ink. And I took it over to the typist, and she made a bunch of copies. And then I went home, and I took up my guitar, and this is what I played. This is called Free at Last. At last.
Andy Cohen for you folks. Now, Andy's got a cassette out, Preaching in That Wilderness. And we ought to tell folks how they can get in touch with Andy's label in case they want to find out more information on how to get a hold of this. Or they could probably call this number also to find out your tour schedule, because you tour around the country.
I do.
Yeah. Andy Cohen, his label can be reached. That's Merrimack Recordings at 1-800-628-4507.
And they get a lot of other good recordings, too.
Yeah, they do. That's
Yeah.
true. And Andy has agreed to help me out on an old-time number called The Bully of the Town.
Well, bully for you.
Bully for me and bully for you.
Anything like in tune here?
Sounds right to me, huh? I just got here from Tennessee and I can't allow no roughneck rebel roustabout with me to raise a row. I'm looking for the bully of the town. Have you heard about that bully? He's just come into town. He's rounding up the people, laying their bodies down, and I'm looking for the bully of the town. As I walk this levee round, 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 every night I can be found. As I walk this levee round, around, 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 I'm looking for the bully and he must be found. Pick it, Andy. I'm going to the corner, my axe in my hand. I'm gonna find the bully and sweep him off the land. And when I'm done, I'm gonna make the bully stand. So if you see me coming, heist your windows high. And if you see me hanging on, hang your head and cry. I'm gonna find the bully, gonna make him die. As I walk this levee round, 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 every night I can be found, found, found. As I walk this levee round, around, 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 I'm looking for the bully and he must be found. I'm going to the corner, my axe in my hand. I'm gonna find the bully and sweep him off the land. And when I'm done, I'm gonna make the bully stand. I'm getting so evil, I'm scared of myself. I'm gonna find the bully and sweep him off the shelf. And when I'm done, the bully will need help. As I walk this levee round, 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 every night I can be found, found, found. As I walk this levee round, around, 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 I'm looking for the bully, he must be found. Aha! Sound pretty good to me. Okay, folks, well, we're going to take a little public service announcement break, and we'll be back on Horses Sing None of It with Andy Cohen in just about a minute.
I forgot my hat today, but this way you can see that my head is so full of brains that it's growing out through my hair. So I was looking at this great chart made by the World Game Institute. It explains how much it would cost to fix all the ecological problems in the world and give everybody on the earth a decent standard of living. Going, whoa, whoa, this is cool, this is great. All we have to do is convince everybody on the planet that this is a good idea. We'll plan on it and things will be cool. So I figured, look, we really want to get this thing going, I better just go ahead and do it. So you want more information? Help me convince everybody in the world that this is a good idea? Send a self-addressed stamped envelope to World Game Plan, care of Ralph, 140 Morris Street, Morristown, New Jersey. Thanks a lot. Ah! Okay, let me see if I can work with that.
Hey, hey, welcome back to Horses Sing None of It with Andy Cohen. And, well, we've got a couple new things on the stage here. Well, one is a person and one is a thing. Why don't you introduce us to your friend here first, Andy?
Well, folks, it's my friend Robbie Wadeen, and she's going to help me sing one on this here contraption. I'm going to hold this contraption up for a second. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. This is a dulciola, D-O-L-C-E-O-L-A, and it was made in Toledo, Ohio, about 1910. The company that made it was called the Toledo Symphony Company, and it had nothing to do with symphonies. In the brochure that came with this thing said you could take this thing on picnics. You could do. It was played before the crowned heads of Europe, and children could play it. That's because it got these teeny-weeny little keys. That's really so you only make little mistakes. I think it's because, I think this is the piano that Schroeder plays in the Funnies. This piano is called I like to call this my micro grand. It's the world's smallest grand piano. And the fact is, it was used by a man named Washington Phillips, who was a wandering preacher down in the East Texas area, East Texas, Louisiana area, about 1920 to about 1930 or so. And he made some 78 records. And this is one of those 78 records. This is a song called By and By, I'm Gonna See the King. 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 Lord, I don't mind dying, I'm a child of God. Our mother called her daughter to her dying bed, placed her hands upon her daughter's head, held her kindly in her arms, saying, I will not be with you very long. By and by, I'm gonna see the King. By and by, I'm gonna see the King. By and by, I'm gonna see the King. Lord, I don't mind dying, I'm a child of God. Now you might do things that you don't consider no harm, but God in the heaven knows when you've done wrong, so you better let dancing, card parties all go by, so you might be able to gain your home on high. Sing. By and by, I'm gonna see the King. By and by, I'm gonna see the King. By and by, I'm gonna see the King.
Lord, I don't mind dying, I'm a child of God.
By and by, I'm gonna see the King. By and by, I'm gonna see the King. By and by, I'm gonna see the King.
Lord, I don't mind dying, I'm a child of God.
All right, very nice.
Yes. Happens that Washington Phillips recorded that song on the very same day and in the very same studio that Blind Willie Johnson recorded a song very much like it. I think they were probably swapping songs in the studio there. Here's another one. My opinion about Washington Phillips is that he was associated with the Church of the Social Gospel, which was Reverend Tinsley's church out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which, as you know, is not that far from here. This was a sort of an early version of liberation theology. It exhorted people to realize that there was both a heaven and an earth. So this is called What Are They Doing in Heaven Today? And when you hear the 78, what you hear is Washington Phillips saying, what are they doing in heaven today? I don't know, boys, but it's my business to stay here and sing about it. Oh, what are they doing in heaven today, where sin and sorrow are all gone away? Peace abounds like a river, they say. What are they doing there now? I'm thinking of friends whom I used to know, stayed here and suffered in this world below, but they've gone up to heaven. I want to know, what are they doing there now? What are they doing? Oh, what are they doing in heaven today, where sin and sorrow are all gone away? Peace abounds like a river, they say. What are they doing there now? Yes, some whose bodies was full of disease, citizens and doctors could couldn't give them much ease. So they suffered till death brought the final release. What are they doing there now? Oh, what are they doing in heaven today? Where sin and sorrow are all gone away. Peace abounds like a river, they say. What are they doing there now? Some whose hearts was burdened with care, paid for their moment with fighting and tears, clung to the cross with trembling and fear. What are they doing there now? Oh, what are they doing in heaven today, where sin and sorrow are all gone away? Peace abounds like a river, they say. What are they doing there now? Some who were poor and often despised looked up to heaven with tear-blinded eyes, but the others was heedless and deaf to their cries. What are they doing there now? Oh, what are they doing in heaven today, where sin and sorrow are all gone away? Peace abounds like a river, they say. What are they doing there now? Oh, what are they doing in heaven today, where sin and sorrow are all gone away? Peace abounds like a river, they say. What are they doing there now?
Ah, yes. Righteous.
I think so. I think it's very righteous.
Well, the time just seems to fly by.
Doesn't it, though?
It's a short show, and it's even shorter when there's somebody real entertaining like you folks on here. So we'd like to thank you for being on. We are going to take it out with a little jam session here as the credits roll. Nice having you on, Robbie.
Thank you.
Nice having you on,
Great
Andy.
fun.
Thanks for showing off your dulciola. We've never seen one of them before.
Well, be that as it may, I'll bet you somebody in New Jersey, probably somebody watching this show, has got one. And I'll bet it's up in the attic or down in the basement. It's probably not in very good shape, but their grandma bought it sometime maybe about 70 or 80 years ago. In the meantime, we're going to do that one we practiced.
Seems like as good a one to do as any.
Okay, well, folks, I'm going to wait till Ralph's got his harp on and we're all in tune. This song is all about how the monkey was walking by the creek and he stuck his big long tail in the creek and the catfish come along, bit the biggest part of it off, and the monkey pulled it out and he looked at the stump and he said, "It won't be long now." Early one morning, pretty mama, and it won't be long. Early one morning, pretty mama, and it won't be long. You're gonna miss your good man rolling in your arms. You're gonna miss your daddy rolling in your arms. You're gonna miss your daddy rolling in your arms. You don't believe I'm leaving, you can count the days I'm gone. Get out of here now, Ralph. Oh, mama, what you want for me to do? Oh, mama, what you want for me to do? Gonna break my heart trying to get along with you.
Oh, it's easy, babe.
You go to bed at night, lay down early, try to take your rest. You go to bed at night, lay down early, try to take your rest. You get a call at 4 o'clock, you gotta get up and do your best. Okay, now do your best. Here we go. mama Jackie no more. I'm going, what you want me to bring you back? I'm going, what you want me to bring you back? I'm going, and I ain't never coming back. Get out of here now.
If you feel alone and empty inside, and if problems are tearing you up, and you think there's no one to help, well, call the Boys Town National Hotline, 1-800-448-3000. There's help.
It takes so little to save our rivers and oceans for future generations. If we use less toxic household cleaners, we protect a little. Fewer lawn care chemicals, a little more. And recycling used motor oil gains us so much. In fact, there are many things we can do in our everyday lives that can help stop water pollution forever. Clean water. If we all do a little, we can do a lot. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Defense Council and the Ad Councils of the U.S. and Japan.
Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave, and so I rise, I rise, I rise.
I've had the same friends since I was a little kid, but this year, some of them started playing with these other kids. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's cool making new friends and all, but they weren't like us. They were, different. And I heard my big brother saying some pretty bad stuff about people like them. But they seemed pretty cool, and we had a pretty good time. So, maybe my brother doesn't know everything.
Hey,